got some breaking news here. The Las Vegas Raiders have cut safety Johnathan Abram. Let's face it, John Gruden and Mike Mayock, their ability to draft players in the first round, it's been absolutely disgraceful. When you think about Cleveland Ferrell, Josh Jacobs might be the only guy that's halfway decent, but they already declined his fifth-year option. And now Abram. Abram was the third player at number 27 overall, drafted all the way back in 2019. And since the day he's been drafted, I have sat up here on this channel and expressed my displeasure for his ability to cover. In my personal opinion, in the NFL today, if you're going to be a safety that gets drafted in the first round, you got to be able to cover. And Abram has never been able to do that. I have said from the jump, Abram is going to be a bust. I tried to make up videos trading away Abram in 2020, 2021, hell, 2022. I wish Abram nothing but the best, and I truly mean that. But we got to face the facts here. He was a bad fit with Paul Gunther. He was a bad fit with Gus Bradley. He was a bad fit in Patrick Graham's system. I am a little bit surprised that the Raiders are deciding to do this after the NFL trade deadline, but we'll talk about some more of that here in a little bit. So the Raiders report, I want to know what you guys have to say, and give me your honest opinion. What are your thoughts on the Raiders releasing Johnathan Abram? You can say it's been a bust. You can say it's a surprise. I want to know what you guys have to say about the Raiders releasing Johnathan Abram, and push me full screen here. My personal thought is either the Raiders are looking for a scapegoat because, as far as I'm concerned, this coaching staff is not able to say, this is our fault. I have yet to see this coaching staff really do that. It was either they're looking for a scapegoat at 2-6. He is a bad fit in most NFL defenses. Yes, he absolutely is. The Raiders tried him at linebacker, a little bit like a dime linebacker. That didn't work out. They tried him at strong safety. That didn't work out. So the Raiders looking for a scapegoat. But the fact that they released him, I think he could have at least played special teams or something for the Silver and Black. Now, when you talk about disasters, I mean, you want to know first-round picks that just absolutely flopped. Here is the Raiders' first-round picks from 2019 to 2021. Cleveland Ferrell, fifth-year decline. Josh Jacobs, fifth-year decline. Now, Jacobs, though, he's one of the best backs in the NFL. Johnathan Abram, cut. Damon Arnett, cut. Henry Ruggs, cut. Alex Leatherwood, cut. It does not get much worse than that. So I know a lot of people hate Josh McDaniels, which I can't stand that dude either. But, let's be real. You're never going to bring back John Gruden. You're never going to bring back Mike Mayock. And this Raiders team has struggled. But they've also struggled because all those missed draft picks have not only been bad, they've been just downright disastrous. So we're going to keep on breaking down all the numbers behind Abram, who's going to have to step up for him, his PFF grades, all that kind of good stuff. But before we do, I got to give some love to today's sponsor, Established Titles. I know the holidays are right around the corner, and I don't know about y'all, I always spend time trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to give my loved ones for the holidays. And this one, really, really cool idea. So go to establishedtitles.com/chat. And if this is the first time you've ever heard about this sponsorship, well, hey, this is what it is. The Raiders Reporters are sponsored by Established Titles. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities on tree planting and trees for the future to support global reforestation efforts. You can officially include the title lord or lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profiles, etc. It makes a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link that you guys see down there below will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we could build our own little Raider Nation. So it makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running an awesome early Black Friday sale right now with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. So establishedtitles.com/chat. I got my plaque right here. I know it sounds crazy, but yeah, actually, I'm trying to get my driver's license switched to say Lord Mitchell Renz. Y'all can have that too. You can get it for your couples. You can get it for your dog. You can get it for your mom, your dad, all that kind of good stuff. All right, back into the Johnathan Abram news here because the Las Vegas Raiders, they moved on from him. When I think about Abram, he had opportunities. He had plenty of chances to try to make it in the NFL. The issue was the Raiders didn't know where to put him. They had no idea where they were going to try to line him up because whether they lined him up as a dime linebacker, it didn't work. A strong safety, it didn't work. Early on in the season, there was a point where I was like, man, maybe it will work because the first 2 games, he actually did okay. Patrick Graham has been looking for a Jabril Peppers type of strong safety that he can use all over the football field. What you're going to see now is a lot more of Duron Harmon. You're going to see a lot more of Trevon Merrick. And I actually think, shout out to Hootie Lord, I also think that the person who's probably going to have to step up here a little bit more also is the UDFA from USC, Paula Allo, who is technically, I believe, right now in the practice squad. So that could be somebody that you're going to promote. But, let's be real with each other. Johnathan Abram was not worth a first-round pick. Not only was he that, he was a liability. The Raiders were better without Abram last season, and I can make the argument they were better without him this season when he's not on the field. You look at his 2022 PFF grades and overall 49.5. He's supposed to be good at stopping the run, a 43.4. Homeboy's too busy trying to punch footballs out instead of actually making a tackle. Pass rush, great. And then a coverage grade of 51.6. So looking at all those numbers, after seeing the Raiders depth chart, I need y'all to name a player right now who needs to step up for the Raiders. It doesn't have to be at safety because the player that I believe the Raiders are going to hope takes that next step, can step up and play at a more high level. When he comes back, it's going to be Nate Hobbs. I think you could see Nate Hobbs play different roles here. The guy that I think that the Raiders are going to bet on, Sidney Jones. Yeah, I know, different positions. They just signed Sidney Jones this week. You could see Sidney Jones on the outside, and then right next to him is Rock Ya-Sin. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with Anthony Averett because he's been a disaster. Look for Sam Webb to get more reps. Sam Webb has really stepped his game up. Luke Masterson is absolutely another name to keep in mind in terms of stepping up. This is going to have to be a team effort. You're 2-6 for a reason. Patrick Graham has been bad. Josh McDaniels has been bad. The players do deserve some blame as well. And when one of your top players, in terms of snaps, is released, it's going to have to be a total team effort. Yes, the Raiders need to get more pressure as well. Chandler Jones, I'm looking at you. All the defensive tackles, I'm looking at you. Because a lot of those players in the secondary, y'all are putting them out on an island because nobody can get pressure anywhere. You got 9 sacks this season. This number, 9 sacks, and 6 of them are from Crosby. That's laughable. Every single person on that defense needs to step it the hell up. Now, Abram will hit waivers, so that is something to keep in mind. He will hit waivers, and at 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, if a team wants to put in a claim for him, obviously that they can do that. Now, because of his contract, I would be surprised if a team does put in a claim. I expect him to go through waivers, very similar to what you've seen some other players do. Now, Chicago, they signed Alex Leatherwood when he was cut because they thought that he had a chance. Unfortunately, though, I don't think that's going to happen with Johnathan Abram. Now, there's that old saying, once a Raider, always a Raider, and I hate when people lose a job, especially when the coaches have been as bad as they've been, and they're going to fire someone else when, let's be real, they deserve to be fired. So even though Abram was not great, I will wish him the best of luck. I am going to type 24 down in the comments because as far as I'm concerned, did Abram have to deal with a lot in terms of 3 different defensive coordinators? Yes. Did he have to deal with COVID in that 2020 season? Yes. Did he have to deal with injuries? Yes, he absolutely did. But you know what? The Raiders, they probably actually did something nice by releasing him right now. So type 24, show Abram a little bit of love. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram, on Twitter. I put this information out probably a little bit over than an hour ago. If you want to get even more exclusive videos, hit me up on Locals, RaidersReport.locals.com.